I'm trying to be trendy again, so everybody do your, what is it? Instagram, that's what it's called. All right, now people back home won't yell at me. So I'm Daniel. I lead channel over at the Trend Micro for West Coast. And for those, most everybody's probably heard of Trend Micro. We've been around 33 years, biggest install base of laptop security and cloud if you're doing the cloud side. Not as many are familiar, and as you might be able to relate, if you've been around a while, transitioning from a traditional selling model to how SaaS is sold, how cloud is sold, can be alienating to your reps, to your existing partners. They don't know the new processes, and you have to work through. Did you offer me a clicker? I don't have the clicker.
Oh, I think he was trying to hand it to you.
I think he was, and
where did he go with it? Did he leave it over here? I'm wondering if he brought it back to the control room. If you're in the control room and you can hear us, looks like they just moved your slide.
Okay. Cool. Clicker will come back.
The clicker will be here.
So most of us have done sales for a while. Oh, thank you.
And the clicker's back.
You did. I misunderstood. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, clicker. Button. All right. Wow, it looked prettier on my computer. So most everyone's familiar with the traditional sales model. Starting on top, we want to engage customers, we want to engage partners, funneling down to a large involved deal with a lot of new money coming in, focusing on closing the deal. On the channel side, we're running partner campaigns, pushing analyst reviews, we're leading events, we're trying to track and connect our deals coming through, and making sure all our people are helping our sellers are helping our channel partners. We've gotten very good at this over the years. When we move to a SaaS model, though, where am I supposed to click? There we go. These large, complex deals, I had really cool animations. The whole model gets turned on its side because instead of having that multi-million-dollar complex deal that you spend weeks, months, years implementing, you now have a small deal, maybe even free. For Trend, we offer everything with a free tier. If you want to try us out, cool, spin it up in the lab. Don't care. Do it. And if you want to scale up, great, start scaling. We'll talk to you if you get very high. Even if we're going through the traditional sales model, the initial purchases are 1/10 of what they were in the traditional model. And that's because customers can buy it and try it and then not have to pay for it until it's deployed. So how does that change? We, as a channel org, need to also focus over there. Post-sale, gathering value across the life cycle of customers. All right, so how do we do that? Trend's been around 33 years, very large company. We've got huge install bases. We've got big partners that have been doing business the same way for a very long time. You guys, if you've been around a few years, you likely also have partners that have traditionally sold through distributors, done a 3-tier model, sell the big CapEx projects. Well, those large companies, traditional partners, they're also trying to figure this out. So the best way to start building with the people that you're making money now is to help engage them. We were finding that these partners, the established partners, were as scared or more of losing their customer base because they don't understand how the SaaS models work. A lot of people we've heard talking so far were born in the cloud. That's not us. I don't know if everybody was that way. And it can be scary to walk through new processes. Can I go back? All right, we're gonna jump into use cases. Those are more fun. So each of these are 3 real partners. This is the first one here. And essentially, we moved the model to build a new channel with new partners, as well as maintaining and helping the existing partners grow. And both sides, engaging engineering and building specialists, building champions were key. You're gonna sense a theme here. If your product, when they click download or subscribe, if they're not already an expert in your product, you're gonna have to engage them with a technical basis. For us, it's a huge platform with lots of use cases. Gotta engage, and if we're not teaching our channel partners, they're not gonna be recommending us. Unfortunately, they want to overall. So use case of a small boutique consultancy here locally in San Francisco. They essentially have 3 customers. They happen to be 3 large silicon manufacturers, so they do a lot of business. But they are invaluable with us as they do weekly CIO, weekly CTOs, engaging in architectures, all selling legacy. They're terrified as these manufacturers are moving to the cloud. They're wanting to buy other products, and everybody hears, you can just go on Amazon, buy direct. It's not untrue. You can do that with Trend too. But you don't get the value add that the partners have been building with these customers. You know, the same value that partners were delivering years ago of relationships, finding new engagements, finding more people, more opportunities are still there. It's our job to help them learn. So we onboard, we focus on building technical relationships and enablement. We want to understand what specifically they're working on. A lot of these partners are trying to reinvent themselves. In this one in particular, they were building data centers, physical data centers, and there's not many of those being built. So they're figuring out how to go to market, and they turn to their top resellers. How do we use you more? How do we embed more? And we were able to work with them to build into managed service products that they were offering. We were able to work with them to get into additional business units across their company, still selling to the same customers, but talking to new people in new ways. And how did it work? Hey, it worked. And after the first year of running this, 260% more created opportunities. The partner is more than doubling in activities just by focusing on technical engagement, engaging with them, and helping them understand how the cloud works. We're getting broader engagement in the partner side. Instead of just talking to security people, instead of talking to architecture people, we're talking across the board. We're getting up to the CISO. We're getting to the business units. We're getting to the people with use cases that have nothing to do with technology anymore. And we're a technology company. We know how to make products. We know how to integrate them. Don't know much about making silicon in this case. But because we were able to partner together, we leveraged their expertise in something that, sure, publicly available, but none of us would have had the value if we hadn't focused on maintaining the partner first mentality and helping this existing partner modified into a more agile cloud first partner. Cool. All right, moving to a larger scale. Most of us probably familiar with the larger SIs, the national channel partners of traditional world. These guys are also working to become cloud focused. The services partners tend to do better. The services guys, they're used to regularly learning new technology. So we're going to engage in a similar way. We're going to engage with technology. In this case, they were picked specifically because our largest marketplace, AWS, listed them as a strategic partner. Great. We were doing some business with them. They show up as our marketplace's top recommended on the top list. You shoot way up to my priority list. So suddenly we're doing one-on-ones, we're flying down, we're doing the education and enablement, but specifically focusing on the practice leads. So we were engaging the cloud practice lead and field CISOs and the AWS team to figure out how to engage customers directly. A little backstory on this one. We spent a whole year with our executives talking to their executives about all the great stuff we were going to do. And you'd hear presentations by both of us and promises of millions of dollars of new revenue. It never filtered down to the field. Any of you ever tried national projects that don't go anywhere, scope real big? The same is true. Even though these guys are national, they have an international beyond that. We moved to focus specifically in NorCal, which was here. If you walk around, there's a few technology and larger companies around. It's a pretty good focus area. And within the first quarter of this year, after changing that, we went from no traction to 4 new logo deals. And these are all new logos that you know the names of. Specifically because we're able to find the people that the sellers go to. It's not scalable to educate the sellers, or in a lot of cases, the general engineers. They're going to try to sell every product on the line card, including competition, because they need to know what the use case is, why you might be special. They're probably not really going to understand. And that's okay. We don't need them. We don't need that to happen. What we do need is for when they see a project that relates to something that we do, they're going to ask their practice leads. They're going to ask their specialists. And when they talk to their field CISO, their head of security, he recommends us. And then they are pitching. And when the deal comes to us, it's qualified, it's introduced, it's set up with thought leaders. It's nowhere near done, but we are way down that path that wouldn't happen with traditional lunch and learns and account mapping. We don't do those anymore. Direct seller-to-seller meetings, great. If you have some traction and you're working together over email, Zoom, whatever, great. Now meet in person, do more. If you don't know who they are, you haven't worked with them directly, either from a partner side or from a partner at a vendor, it's not going anywhere. You're just like the other 10 people, the other 10 ISVs in our case, that have said similar things because they're not going to be experts in it. So focus on the leaders and always lead with technology if you have any sort of involved sale, anything at an enterprise level most likely. Once you have that level where the people they go to for help is recommending you, then we start moving out to field sales campaigns. Then we start running events. Then we start to expand to more regions. And I'm not saying go national right away. We're not. When I say expand, I'm saying we're going from Bay Area to LA and Bay Area. It's intentional because we're still growing person by person. We have not found reliable growth for building an actual relationship that is trustworthy enough that they will introduce us to enterprise customers by mass mailing. It just doesn't work. So we go slow, and that's all right. Even at our scale and what we're working on, if we get one partner close 3 new deals, that's a huge chunk in the right way. And as we're moving in a new cloud model, that's 3 new logos that are going to bill more every month, month over month. All right, the real big boys. There's about five large, we call them national channel partners, NCPs. These are the guys who do billions of dollars, used to do a lot of hardware and software asset management. These guys, a couple years ago, arguably the most afraid of what's going on. Because if your primary value is helping orders go fast and helping manage what you get when, if logging in and downloading is the new supply chain, where can you add value? So C-levels, we're working on how are we going to pivot? And across the board, it was become a service company because it's not about buying product anymore. Even as a product company, it's not about selling product even. It's selling with partners services to enable outcomes. And for us, it's securing projects already in motion that are tied to business outcomes. We build the technology last. It fits into as we need. So what do? They want to become a cloud company. They build specialist teams. When you're talking about the real big boys, they're a battleship, not a destroyer. It takes a long time for the company to move at all. But they love spinning up a small team of 3 to 5, maybe 7 people to specialize in a new use case. And they're wanting early wins. And it's the exact same thing that we want. Because when you get that win, who doesn't like making more money? And a seller will talk about how they made more money. And the engineer will talk about it to other engineers. And person by person, people get excited. And they want to engage with you. And you're not calling them, trying to get on team calls. Let me come talk to you and tell you about all my new stuff. You build relationships with the people that matter to enable the large partners. You can't focus on everything. They're far too large. And I would extend that no matter what the size of the partner is. And these guys will need a deep dive with your existing team because they'll need to update. If you have champions, if you have funded heads, don't abandon them. They likely haven't been trained on your newest stuff. Train them. They love that stuff. Generally, in my experience, they've been earlier in career, really hungry people that just want to win. They want something to say, I did that, this happened. That's exactly what we want too. We want to help enable them. So with this particular channel partner, and to give scale, so I lead the western half of the US. And in 1 year of changing to a specifically cloud-focused model, we moved. We created 150% of deals last year and 170% of year-over-year revenue. That is on a number that is over 1/3 of our entire channel revenue. So yes, it takes a lot of time, and there was at least 50 people involved regularly working on this. It takes time to scale. But when you can increase the deals sold and increase the larger deals while helping a partner that is trying to figure out how they are going to maintain value, how they're going to grow and find new partners, everyone is happy. And then they ask you how to do field events, where to do field events. They introduce you to new technical teams, new sellers, new specialists. They're spinning up new teams all the time. You want them to say, great, welcome aboard. You need to talk to Trend Micro, or whatever your company's name is. And continue with update technical expertise. Just because somebody closed a big deal and they love you at the time, they've got other stuff to do. You're going to have to help update them in a month, help keep them up to speed, keep that excitement level up, which does get harder as you scale. We need headcount, we need people, we need programs. For example, in my group, this year we expanded from myself and a couple partial heads, to a full-time CAM, a full-time marketer, and full-time, we have operations. Yeah, those are full-times. And then we have 4 other people that have formal responsibility on the team. So we are delegating because we know this is how we have to mature. We have to grow. Our revenue's growing. The market is growing. Channel is enabling that. We are seeing the new value. We don't hear the, what's the value of channel anymore? Do they have value in this model? Yeah, they do. And we're showing it with numbers while supporting our existing business and building up new business with new partners that truly get the new use cases, the new engagement models that selling via cloud enables. Any questions?
That was great, Daniel. Any questions, guys? Oh.
Hey, Moshe Shacham from Actian. I have a question. What's the ratio, if you can share, between your channel sales today to direct sales? And did you or are you still putting yourself KPIs? How much, what's the target of channel sales that you want to drive in the future?
Yeah. So we have been committed to be partner-focused, partner-first since founding. We're still above 90% attach rate. I don't know this year's number, but it's above 95, so we're happy with that. For example, even if a very large company wants to buy direct, it requires multiple VPs to agree, as well as our Senior Vice President of all of Americas. So it's major effort. And if you don't do that, your channel partners will be worried that you're going to sell around them, which is not something you can do and succeed. If you're asking them to trust you, you need to trust them and support them. And the second question was around APIs. KPIs. Key performance indicators. So we're looking for regular engagement either with a dedicated team for our more productive partners, for our at-scale partners, our partners that are high number and low revenue. We enable them largely through the partner portal. We'll track deal registrations, trainings that they work on, how much they reach out to us. And that helps show us who wants to work with us. And if we're seeing a lot of traction, they'll likely get elevated to more of a dedicated person to give them more specialized attention. The more we do, the higher they go.
Any other questions? Awesome. That was great, Daniel. Thank you. Let's give us
All right.
applause.
Thank you.